And I am live. Good morning. I'm higher vibrations, and so are you. Wow, what a freaking energy wave of awesomeness we've had lately, huh? So much happening. Um, I know that a lot of you have been reporting specific symptoms. Um, and it's just a unique perspective that I get to have being on this side, is that I get to see and kind of show what areas of the body are being the most affected. And it makes sense that it's really in the throat chakra area, as well as in the sacral chakra, is really where most people are having their symptoms, their ascension symptom kind of stuff. However, there's this other experience that most of us are having, pardon me, where it's just like constant distraction, downloads, lots and lots of stuff coming in, weird, like you feel like almost incapacitated just in the euphoria. Hi, Jackie. Good to see you, sweetie. Um, and that's been something that I've been really kind of experiencing. And there's been some really awesome, euphoric, joyful things that have come about with that too. Um, hello, Carolyn, sweetie. Good to see you. Some of these topics we did discuss a little bit in the show with Heather a little bit ago. That was a fun conversation. For any of you who missed it, it will be available for replay in the soulologynetwork.com platform in the next while. It's really fun having these conversations in this platform because there aren't as many like barriers and censorship, and so you can say whatever you want. And we said some fun stuff, so if you get a chance, check it out. Miss T, hello. Hello, lovely Pamela. So good to see you. Kay says, hello, Pamela. Much love from Texas. Hi, Kay. Tareen says, hi, Pamela. It feels like something is about to pop. That's a very good observation. Yes, there is a very, 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 very cool thing that everybody's having go through them right now. And it has this like, oh, it's getting better and better. Hi, Heather. Welcome. So good to see you. It's been forever, huh? um, and so uh, it's good. It's good. Just to be clear, what we have happening right now is very good. It's just that it feels so anticipatory that it's like it reminds me of Monty Python. I don't know how many of you like are a geek like I am, but I like watched Monty Python a lot in high school. And in fact, I got in trouble for speaking with a British accent too much. Anyway, there's this one, the search for the Holy Grail, and they see like I think it's Lancelot. I can't remember who's coming anymore, but there's this knight that was running at these guys, and then he just kept coming, and then just kept starting back over and coming and coming. It feels like that, right? We're just like, oh my goodness, like, okay, I'm ready. Okay, no. Okay, now I'm ready. It's like you're just kind of waiting for it. And it's coming in each time. That's the thing. There just isn't like this plateauing that occurs. And so when there's no plateau, we don't realize that we've made it to this next checkpoint. Don't know what these are called. They're showing me Sherpas, like those mountains that are really hard to climb, and then you have like the Sherpas that like, I'll show you the way, follow me. That there's like these different camps that you stay at with the Sherpas that are so you can like acclimate to the new oxygen and all that stuff. Anyway, so each one of these is a Sherpa camp, is what they're showing us. So like that's why it feels like almost there, not really, because there's no plateauing, and then you're still going. We're not done, and it's not that it's bad not done. It's not like, oh no, I'm never gonna finish. It's this really cool, exciting. So I'm excited about it, and we are here, people. We are here. Carolyn, oh wait, I skipped something. I remember up here thinking I have to go back and read. Oh yeah, hello Lavender Sky Panther. I love your name. That's really a cool name. Happy to catch a live. Hi to all. Spiritual Warrior, another surprise live. Yeah, it's funny how this one worked out. My um schedule normally works where I do this 5 hours ago, or 5 hours and 5 minutes ago is when I start. This particular week, we had something else. Oh, and sorry about that, guys. I misunderstood. I thought that that committee or group meeting or business meeting or whatever it is for the Soology Network was meant to go and stream, and so I told people it was going to stream on the social media platforms, and then it didn't. And so that's my bad. My apologies. Anyway, and so that the timing for my normal live didn't work out. I was happy that I was able to join this call that happened though. And so yeah, here I am. Carolyn, like the other shoe is waiting to drop. Yes, Carolyn, I get exactly what you mean with that sensation. Yeah, and it's a good thing. So part of what we're doing is remembering that we're purging, right? And that's why our body's going through all this weird stuff. Like I have like this acne going on my face. Like I don't know how this happens. Like I don't have a filter on my Zoom, but for some reason, like I look better than I do in the mirror. Um, anyway, there's this acne that we're all having. What I'm noticing most about the purging is it's like, ew, the sweat stuff. Like I went a kind of graphic and talking about it with somebody recently on some kind of thing I was doing, but it's not as gross as I tried to make it sound, because the energy of it feels more discolored than it actually is, but there is sort of a gray like tint to it. It's really bizarre, and we're leaving these toxins that are in our body are leaving our body on the vessel or on the vehicle of sweat. And so it's like ew, like I'm constantly washing my face and just down my neck and my back. We're having this going on right now. Um, and so why am I talking about this is because as we purge, then we can move. That's one level of purging. As then we can move through to this next frequency that we're really wanting to be at anyway, you know? And so that's really, really exciting that that's happening. It's great. And then finally, like Carolyn had said, the other waiting for the other shoe to drop feeling, this like anticipatory energy then turns into a sigh, kind of like, okay, now here's slowly relaxing your body into a hot tub kind of feeling. It's really cool. And that sigh happens mostly when we realize we're okay. We're great. We're ahead of schedule. Just so you guys know, we are ahead of schedule energetically. We've been ahead of schedule over and over again. We've gotten more and more ahead of schedule in this ascension experience than throughout the years and everything. However, this has been really fun to watch. I can't be right ever, meaning that like when I say where we're at energetically, then we jump ahead. And it makes me I really think to myself, I just help that awakening happen by giving everybody this it, uh proof, and they're finally able to feel like they're doing work, and then they're doing the work that they thought that they were doing, but they've not had any proof for. I don't know what it is, but it seems to be every moment when we do that. And so I'm not taking responsibility. Just be clear. It's showing you that if you say it to yourself out loud, then it changes everything and improves, makes it easier. It's pretty cool. Um, Hello, Path 88. Good to see you, sweetie. Don't get wrapped up in the circus. That's right, Kay. Exactly. Kate 13. Feel like I'm asked to rest now because shaking is coming. Yeah, I feel the same. I've been really resting it in, man. Like I'm just been super just relaxed, tired. My sleep is all crazy, wacky. Like I mean, I'll be really tired hours before I typically am. Like I'm a night owl person. I'm totally up at night. Like I'm like, oh good, everyone's asleep. Now I can have fun. I've always been that person. Um, but I've been going to bed long hours before I typically do, and then waking back up again in a very short amount of time. Like sometimes it's as little as 20 minutes, and I'm just like, or I would have probably slept for 20 minutes and then I'm awake for several hours. And the night is like more of like a flow of energy instead of a series of things to do. It's really bizarre. I don't know if that makes any sense. And we're doing a lot of certain types of healing with numbers, frequency, code, colors, and the way that lines move in dreams, but they're not really dreams. This is happening for me specifically. No one else has told me this, but I'm being guided very strongly to talk about that right now. So um, the type of dreams that we're having is where I figured out what the number 10 is supposed to do today and what color is associated with the number 10 and how many layers and paradoxes it has. Um, the geometry, the sacred geometry that goes along with it, and how that code of the frequency. So frequency looks like a whole bunch of strings, and then some of the strings are missing for certain, just kind of like a fingerprint. So anyway, those types of things a lot of people are having. This is good. Just you're not going to understand what's going on. I don't know what the freak they're talking about. It's just really cool. I know that it's doing something. And so there it is. Groundhog Day over and over. Okay. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I keep getting stuck in the loop too. So we're closing timelines collectively. Everybody, we're all closing timelines. My lights are so bright. Sorry. I'm trying to, um, anyway, and as we close timelines, we find ourselves in this loop. So we're experiencing the same thing or very similar thing over and over and over again until that timeline is finally closed. It's like as it's closing, like it's like an iris and it's closing like this, yeah. And right about this time is when it's the most vulnerable. And so this is when we'll loop. It's like we're watching or keeping guard to keep it from like just keeping it closing. And so we do a time loop, and so we groundhog day it. Yeah, you're exactly right. A lot of people are doing this. Sometimes it's behaviors. They're like, wow, I'm doing like this obsessive compulsive behavior right now. Like, okay. And it's not anything that you need to worry about. It's just what's happening. People are having light language all of a sudden turning on this week. So remember the 777 portal that happened, and then yesterday was the 99. So we just had those two bookends that we've been waiting for. Remember that was supposed to show us the 5-point star, the five-point stars. So we're here now, and so we're starting to close these timelines and starting to like reemerge. It's really cool. Anyway, um, I get so excited that I get distracted from what I was actually saying. Terrain says, yes, made it to the next checkpoint. And like clarity is really here. Yes, 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 exactly. Is it taurine territory? I like it. I like it. Just very earthy and beautiful. I agree. Yes, yes, yes. And so now this is where we go. Okay, so we're like, who we following? Like where's our follow person we're supposed to be following? And we find out people are following us. Oh, really? Are you sure? Because that's what a lot of us are doing, right? Like I feel kind of like I was tricked or duped into thinking that I was just, you know, gonna just be going along for the ride. Little tricky buggers. Jeanette says, hey, Pamela in chat. Awesome to catch you live. Good to see you, sweetheart. Oh my gosh, you guys are so beautiful. I'm sending you all so much love. I can feel it too. Like, oh, you guys are just so cool. Wow. Spiritual warrior. Yes, an elevation checkpoint. Whoop, whoop. Path 88. Chat laugh out loud. Checkpoint break. Okay, keep going. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like break. Okay, go. Yeah, you don't really get like this, like, okay, we're gonna holiday. No, you're getting out like your margaritas and it's like they're already gone. Right? I don't know why I said margarita. I haven't actually had alcohol in years and I don't have anything against it. I think if people should. My body just doesn't like it. And what I mean by people should is that there's a lot of things that we omit in our lives that we don't have to omit. Listen to your own body, you know, enjoying the human experience is it'd be a shame to not. Lavender Sky Panther says, thanks. Brenda Garcia, the biology is definitely challenged. Lots of symptoms. Yeah, a lot of symptoms. And a lot of cool stuff. Like a lot of this root chakra going thump, thump, thump. Like this is causing people to have spontaneous physical euphoric experience, and wherever they're at. I've recently had this experience while in the produce department. I think it's hilarious. I really think it's funny because everybody could tell. And whatever. It is what it is. Jacqueline T, my allergies and sinuses are out of control. Yeah, me too. Wow, thanks for saying that. My allergies and sinuses are out of control. Also, the weird sweating you're talking about. Thank you for bringing up the sign. I admit that was a point of intrigue because so I have a starseed kiddo and so I can compare sometimes. Like, oh, okay, she's having the same thing happening, and often you won't find these ascension symptoms in children, particularly the farther and farther away you get from 2012. So children who were born 2012, 2013, 2014, so on and so forth. The closer and closer, the younger they are, the less symptoms they have. That took a lot to say that. And so it's interesting when you see a child and that she's having the same thing, this sneezing, sinus. It's really like allergies. It's not like, it's really bizarre. A lot. I'm having it too. I just thought it was this one tree, but it's like, it doesn't matter where we go. And thank you for saying that. Diana, hi everyone. Hello, sweet Pamela. Yay. Yeah, it's really exciting time to be in right now. Miss T, gosh, how long will this purging go on? It feels like I've been purging for a long time. Yeah, okay, so this is a really good question, Miss T. Thank you for asking. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. And this is not ageism in any way. However, the older that we are, the more toxins we will have in our body. It's just how it works. And remembering too is that we're going back at least 3 generations because the egg that became you was complete and intact in your mother's womb when she was in your grandmother at womb. And so all the toxins that were in your grandmother were then absorbed into you. And that's just that part of the line. Anyway, so what we're talking about is the purging of the many layers. I asked the question of why can't we just purge overnight? A while ago, it was about a year or so ago. And what I was shown was that most physical forms would not be able to stay hydrated during the purge if it was done rapidly because that type of purging, not to mention that it's very uncomfortable, high distress. Like if there's uh you know you're evacuating your bowels, your stomach, any foreign matter in your bloodstream, like in your lungs, so this type of, it's almost a violent vision of what I was shown. Just purging this stuff would be almost impossible to stay hydrated, and it wouldn't do anybody any good. And that's why after so much purging, then you can find that it'll become lighter and lighter. And so just the level of toxins that you've collected in your life. Some of us choose to use certain things like parasite removal, like treatments and things like that. There's a lot of different things people do. Um, I'm not like the most versed in these kinds of healings, though there's a lot of things people will do. You can look it up, and perhaps maybe somebody can share their insight and what they've done in the chat if you'd like, um, in order to accelerate the process in a little bit of a gentle way, but not so much. So, one in particular I keep hearing about over and over again that is the use of castor oil, as like on your skin, on your body, on your belly button, lots of different castor oil stuff that helps. So I hope that answered your question. Trina, hello, sweetie. Hi, Pamela. So much pain, pressure, and sinuses. Yep, sinuses. TMJ and ears. It's 3 days since 2 upper right molars pulled. So nauseous too. How much is from Ascension Symptoms? I'm miserable. Am I okay? You're okay. You're definitely okay. And that is the complicated thing, is that you're having actual physical intervention with this dental surgery that you had, removing those teeth, um, at the in the same areas that are being activated right now. The nausea, I'm always uncertain if I say that word right, because everybody has a different way of saying it, but whatever, the desire to vomit, uh, that is really common right now. The ears are really common, the pain in the ears, especially down the sides, like so, like this kind of a line and down, as well as behind. That's really, really common. This looks like a hand energy that goes up over the top. And as it goes up over the top there, these little areas causing headaches, stress headaches. This is what everybody looks like right now, especially people who are walking around the grocery store and stuff for me. Like this energy right here. It's really, everybody seems to have it. The TMJ, that's I think what that's that jaw thing, right? Where people like grind their teeth or whatever. This is something I'm having, and I don't have that TMJ. I don't grind. Um, and that's with a joint of your jaw. It's like you feel like the Tin Man. You're like, and like there's something going on there, but it's also really uncomfortable. Lots of pressure. You kind of don't want to touch it. As well as the sinus, which we just talked about a little bit. It feels like allergies. However, the pressure is kind of intense for me. Um, my younger one has not reported that experience. So yes, I'm sorry that you're going through this, man. And then there's a lot of throat chakra stuff happening, activation coming online stuff, and so a lot of people are having this dental oral thing going on. This is a common thing, where and it's got nothing to do with diet or health or whatever, just their teeth just doing crazy stuff, so anyway, uh hi Jackie, she says keeners. I'm not really sure what that means. I probably a comment on something it was said forever ago, because I'm really behind. Sarah, thank you for all the confirmation. You're welcome, sweetie. Oh, Brenda Garcia. Yes, Jacqueline. Uh, oh, Trina. Everyone loves you, Trina. We're all sending you healing love, babe. I'm sorry, I just called you that. You're like a sister to me, and I called my daughter baby girl, and I was gonna call you that. And I ended up calling you babe. Apologies. I talk to Trina very, very frequently, and so I I hope that I'm allowed to have that. Anyway, deviation. Lavender Sky Panther, not hungry. Yeah, me too. No food cravings at all. Very little is even compatible to eat anymore due to the processed content and energy shifting. Me too. I think I'm at just carrots, blueberries, and apples. Wow. Yeah, I get you. I'm probably not that far yet, but I'm 100% on board with you. And like, just really not hungry. Like you said, like you were like, just uh, at least some kind of craving. But no, like I'm surprised by the sensation of hunger that comes over me, because I'm like, no, there's no interest. And so I will eat, I'll kind of try to, especially if I feel like my energy is going low, but yeah, just not any desire. Um, I've had to cut out a lot of things out of our diet just because it feels like being poisoned. I don't know how many of you know the story about I had a relationship where he was poisoning me, and I didn't know it. I was very ill, and I died a few times. There was a lot of that went into it, but anyway, it turns out he was just keeping me sick so I wouldn't leave, and, I found that I feel the same way now when I eat some of these foods as I did when I was being poisoned, and that's why I say it feels like being poisoned. Mild poisoning. So I can't eat foods that come from a can or been in a container that's metallic, even aluminum foil. It makes me feel like I've been poisoned. It's very interesting. Everybody's different. Diana, 2023, a year of messed up sleep, ascension, weird symptoms, and self love. Oh, nailed it. Exactly what it's been. Path 88, requesting a voucher for toilet paper from the divine. Oh, I love you. Yes, that should be a thing. Hey, maybe that's why everybody was buying all the toilet paper. Remember that? In 2020, it was like the TP apocalypse. Like people like me who buy it when they need it were like, "Oh, I didn't know this was gonna be a thing." Yeah, that's why I bought it up for now. Amy, waking up at 444 a few days in a row now. 724 the last few days. Love all. Yeah, I've been doing the 444 thing a lot lately too. Everything's become flowy energy. Like it doesn't feel like you're walking to a place. It feels like you're like slinking to a place or like floating to a place. And I'll float to the clock throughout the day and out throughout the night. And it feels because I keep it over there. I don't want to see it's and it ends up being it's crazy every time you float over there. You're like, dude, it took me so long to get here. Jackie says, not hungry either. Been juicing though. A lot of people have been juicing. A lot of people have been doing this. That's awesome. Good job. Been walking lots just to move the energy. Belly bloat has been crazy. Oh yeah, the belly thing, the Buddha belly. A lot of people talking about the Buddha belly lately. And that's because okay, so what's cool about this is that when we let the energy go, when we have a density energy, an energy that doesn't serve us. Hey, 111 people here. That's pretty cool. Synchronicity. We were just talking about synchronicity. Is that the energy that's a density that we're now above this, be not above like we're better than. It's just that this is a frequency that we're no longer at. We're up here now. And when we move up, then there's a density. This becomes a density, right? Because it's no longer in the same energy as you shift. And so then when we relinquish, when we release this energy that's that density, then we'll find that it'll something that will take up this much space takes up that much air or water. And so then we'll find that there's like this spot. And right now it's been around the belly, the Buddha belly, this uh, trifecta, these three chakras that most of us have not really paid much attention to. The yellow solar plexus, the orange sacral, and the red root chakras have, not gotten a lot of attention. So that's another part of it as well. This area totally happening. I don't like it though. I agree. It's fun to see it go away. Elaine, Trina, take California Poppy, MSM, and curcumin. I'm going to try to say that again. Curcumin for pain after an extraction. Thank you for sharing that. There's a lot of amazing natural herbal remedies, like holistic, you can find in your backyard, even in some cases. Stuff. I lost my spot. Sorry, guys. Oh, thank you, Jackie, for saying hit. She says, hit the like button for Pamela's channel. Thank you. And this does help so it gets out. It's really annoying that it's true, but it does help it get out, the information get out so more people know they're not alone. Fleur de Lis, hello. You are bright. I am glowing. These lights are like, and it's weird too. As soon as I like walk away from the lights, they dim. Like you can't, I mean, I've turned this, yeah, it's crazy. Lights are like, oh, Aaron, you're looming too. Looping. Yep. There's a lot. It's looming. I don't know. There's a lot of looping that's going on. Yeah. And as we loop, then we loop out, right? It feels like guard dog, but not really. That's like not the best way to say it because there's like a negative or unpleasant connotation with that. And that's not exactly what it is. It's kind of like happily pacing is a better way of saying it, because like I said, we're closing these timelines. And as we're closing the timelines and the iris that they are, then we start to Groundhog Day and loop moments in front of the timeline as we close it. As we close it, then it becomes it didn't happen. Like that Arcturian message. I don't know how many of you were there for that, but that what they had said was it was very briefed up at the end. And it was, we are currently correcting your history. Please stand by. Like that was what they said. It's like, right on. Well, stand by. Speaking of, there's going to be, oh, never mind. There's just such a cool time right now. Jacaranda Marie, hello. Ha ha ha. I just popped in and you said light language turning on. Love you, sister, and all. Yes. Actually, I was thinking of that. It's so cool to see different individuals having light language in spoken form and light language in written form. Some of these individuals are just like, they don't know why they're sketching, but they are. Hey, now since I got y'all here, there is somebody who came through yesterday or a couple of days ago, and I still have been able. I've gotten some input from somebody else, but I'm just going to put the image up real quick. If any of you know who this is, I don't know. But so I saw it like on slate. So it's like gray stone, but it's like granite, maybe. I don't know. It's really dark gray and hard. Like this is hard stone. And this is the image. And it's like, I don't know what that is, who that is. But if you do, inquiring minds want to know. Anyway, yeah, some cool stuff going on with that. And so people are just sketching and drawing and writing all of this stuff. And people on the outside, a lot of times, if they don't understand what's going on, it can look scary. And so if you're having these types of things, just go with it. A lot of it's just coding, and it needs to get out. It needs to go out onto paper. That's what I find. Or if it's not on paper, then it's an audio, and I'm just it's being released and put someplace. And when it goes someplace, then you can stretch it out so you can look at it better. Oh, she took it. I'll use this. Like so, like all these things, it's like it's all a balled up mess, right? I know, kiddo toys. And then when you speak it or write it out or draw it or something, what it does is it straightens it out so you can then look at it and find out what it actually is. Like, I don't actually really know what this is, to be truthful, but like it straightens it out. And that method is so helpful. People talk about doing it automated or automatic writing. I'm not sure the correct wording for it. I think they're all correct. And so just keeping that in mind, allowing it to come through. I got lost someplace. So Aaron says, I'm kicking serious ass on the astral. Should I feel bad for that here in the realm? Oh, no way, dude. Yeah, like do you follow all of these things that are coming through right now, dude. Like we're closing up and creating and becoming everything's in reverse. And because everything's in reverse, it's all inverted, right? And so it's like, you remember like the old days, I don't know, some of you might be too young to remember the VCR and video tapes, but we used to do this thing we called rewind, and you'd like push this button and then you'd watch everything in fast in quick motion returning back to what it was. And that's what we're doing right now. Like full on, that's what we're doing. And so as we're returning all these things, then it takes different consideration to understand how to like function and to like be in this realm. Like what I was trying to describe the other day, talking about walking on jello. It's kind of like that. Like you don't, you know, it every direction's opposite and stuff. You just have to kind of figure out how to do it while you're in the place, and that you're okay, and that you're not alone. We're all together doing this. Um, spiritual warrior, fist bumps. No, Aaron, she says, fist bump. I'm right there with you. No regrets. That's right, man. All in. Diana, yes, the weird sweating ick. Yeah, it's so gross. I know. Um, Celia, hello from New York. I think New York. I am finally here for your live for the first time. Hey, yay, welcome. It's good to have you. Oh, it's so cool to have you. Um, Aaron says, whoa, that's heavy. Yeah, there's just a lot coming through. I'm just truth bombing it these days from everybody is. It's cool. Just finally talking about it, man. Like all of it, whatever it is. Like there's so many rules and barriers and no and shouldn't and can't and, and polite and politically correct and just say it with your intention being pure and you don't have any malice at heart. Why not? We're all saying it with love and we can feel it now. Now there's no more hurt feelings and stepped on toes because we can tell what people mean. We can tell where their intention is. So we don't have to overcorrect anymore. Jackie says, this is so uncomfortable and painful now. I can't imagine doing it all overnight. I know, right? If we purged all of it right now, dude, I was doing intentional purging for I don't know how many years, a long time. It was like 2009, I think I started to do the intentional purge, and I just recently accelerated it and had a 72-hour, 5-day window. Really, it was 5 days. He said 72 hours, but it ended up being 5 days exactly, almost to the second. And that type of purging was really hard. I can't imagine having not done any purging before I did that. Jeanette says so much fear in every lineage to clear. That is what I feel I am doing. I still have a 91-year-old grandma and pop. So interesting to see what is coming up for them in these times. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of healing. And then you're right. It is mostly fear. I found out, so the fear that's being removed right now, it looks like a straight line and then two lines on the sides that are kind of curved off, kind of like a flat top roof. And it's on our head. And that's leaving. That's leaving right now. It's really cool. Let me hurry and do it really quick because it's supposed to be kind of like sacred geometry. Sacred geometry always comes up like ghostly, like faded light kind of. Oh, it looks kind of like pie, huh? It does look kind of like pie. Anyway, so it's like this. This is the code, and it's like actually on the head, like, and this part of fear, this part of the fear code is coming off of us. That's why it feels like that cold, drippy, icky barrier stuff that happens when there's fear. That's what that code is when it gets put there. And we're releasing this code. We're releasing this code right now so we don't have to participate. And you're right. We're purging the fear code in a lot of places. And so when we purge this particular one, this fear code has to do with trusting, just trusting. And what we mean by trusting is complete trust, and allowing for that that release. I've not ever had such an access to relinquishing all levels of control and as such until like the past couple of days. It's been a hugely activating time for me, and I noticed that's what it was that was presenting itself finally, to be able to see it, because I was relinquishing, I was removing and moving past it. When you trust the universe and completely, and know that what you're putting into it is exactly what you're going to get back. You're going to get back exactly what you need, and in more. Then all of a sudden, it all changes, and everything becomes easy to do. Like everything's full on easy to do again. Activated charcoal. Kate 13 mentioned in spinach. shakes. And diatomaxius, I'm sure I wasn't even close. Earth and water. Um, that's yeah. I've heard about activated charcoal. Lots of use of activated charcoal and toothpaste and mouthwashes and things. I don't know a lot about it, though. I do know that this will definitely help to absorb any toxins that your body is trying to eliminate. I know that because there was a time where I was incredibly suicidal, and they put activated charcoal in my body. And it does, it removes all poisons very, very quickly. Please be very cautious and to follow what is correct for you. I think it can be pretty intense. I'm not sure. I know my experience was very unpleasant. Doreen says, to help the detox, I found salty foods and lots of water, plus Epsom salt baths, and I'm drawn to lemon ginger juice and hot water with a little sugar. Yeah. I'm totally in. Yeah, this is exact. The other thing too, we're noticing we've been using a lot more of is the different, very specific oils. I'm finding people talking about like the castor oil. I said that already. I think. Oh yeah, see, Deb says it too. Castor oil is also known as palms of Christ. Interesting. Um, as well as some other types of things that are detoxing, and then to add to that, the Epsom salt. I take Epsom salt bath daily. If I don't get a chance to actually have a bath, then I'm doing a foot soak. Like my body's needing it right now. I've become that person. Like people tease me. Remember that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding? And he's like, Windex, Windex. Well, everybody who knows me are like comparing me to that guy when I'm like, Epsom salt, Epsom salt, because it does assist a lot of things, and it helps pull those toxins out. And also, the salt element of it assists you to ionize. Your body gets full of positively charged ions. That sounds good because it says positive, but you don't actually want that. You want the negatively charged ones. And so, salt helps in this process. Ionization process where it removes the positively charged ions and replaces them with negatively charged ones. We also get this naturally as we walk upon the soil of Gaia when barefoot. The reason that the soles of our feet contain the largest pores in our body is that's the delivery system. We walk on the ground. The ground gives us minerals and things that we need through our feet, and also pulls out for our assistance these positively charged ions. We notice that this difficulty becomes more increased and more intense when we're having solar flares. And so we will actually get little buckets, little pans and pots, even cups of salt water and put them near to us, just around you someplace. And that will help to ionize the air. Jacaranda Marie, lots of brain zerberts. The feeling of zapping, electrical vibration. Yeah, I like that. Brain zerbert. It kind of is what it sounds like a little bit. I like that. Feeling a zapping electrical vibration in spurts doesn't hurt, thankfully. I'm sorry to hear others are suffering. Try to remember it's temporary. Yeah, thank you for saying that. Like it doesn't feel the best, at times, and when we're doing it we forget that this is definitely 100% temporary. I'll get this thing I call foreverism, where it's like whatever I'm doing when I'm in misery, it feels like I'm going to be doing that forever, like the rest of all time, and even if it's like obviously only going to be a couple of days. So, and this one is harder to be able to remember that in, because we've been doing it for some time now. We are at the finish line of this particular phase. This is very clear, and just to bring some kind of hope that a lot of people have been having it where it's getting tons better, and then like it goes back up a little bit, and they kind of go, "Oh no," but they were here before in the intensity, and now it's here. It just going all the way down and back up again. It feels like you're reaching the same peak when you're not. It's getting better and better as you go, and so and changing and shifting with the brain stuff that Jacaranda Marie mentioned. This is so cool to hear that other people are having this. I haven't had I've had it for some time now, and it always clears my third eye, my pineal gland every time. And like it's so neat. Like it'll go in and I'll I get to follow the electricity because I get to do this with energy. It's just a thing that happens. And as we go into the third eye, like we follow the energy and the euphoria that just washes over you. It's like, whoa. And then the ear ringing. And when the ear ringing comes in, then it distracts me. And I'm like, oh, what's that really loud ear ringing? And then I lose like the euphoria for a minute. So it's like, oh man, it's really a cool experience. And it just feels like your face is just draining. It just really neat. Um, these are gifts. These are gifts, and we're getting them more and more and more. So it's going to be really cool. Ray says, I can relate to the appetite issue. Yes, it feels toxic whenever I eat. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that, Ray. You know, it's surprising how many people are having these experiences in the solo mode, you know, and the solo flight mode, not realizing that other people are flying just beside them, just above and below them. The same thing. We're having this. And I know that the higher and higher frequencies we are, the more that we want to eat foods that are higher frequency too. And one of, and this isn't like a for sure kind of thing, but one of the factors that's easy to decipher what's a higher frequency food is the natural water content of it. Now, I'm not saying that watermelon is going to be like the ultimate high frequency food. It's these types of fresher foods. The higher the water content, that's how it works for me. And again, it's not always correct. Um, most of us are noticing that we more and more don't actually want to chew our food, which is fun to just kind of watch everybody do it. Everybody's like I remember when I first started getting that, I kind of felt lazy. I'm like, am I just lazy? I just want to suck on a straw or something, you know? But um, a lot of people are having it. And it's just, we just want to start to juice our foods, you know, and just creating this, all the water content, culmination, you know, I don't know. But I know that if we listen to our bodies, then we always come to the correct conclusion, you know. Craig's place, today is different. It feels like flu with stomach cramps burning up and just feels weird like a dream. All right, so I actually did have a little bit of this a couple of days ago when I was doing my um, hyper hyper speed detox thing. Um, and it did feel exactly like that. And then the dream felt like that in between place, dream place, like the netherworld dreaming, where like everything's black and you're looking at the dream like in a screen that's really far away from you, kind of thing. Um, just stay in your vibe, girl. You got this. Oh, wow, I'm so sorry. Um, but just, you know, stay in the energy and like knowing that you're gonna be okay. Um, allowing the energy that's happening to move through you and to stay as hydrated as you can. Sorry, Craig. Spiritual warrior. I can see auras sometimes. I could see people that were freshly vaccinated, their auras like black and white TV show. Yeah, you know what? I have seen that with lots of different toxins, and just to, you're right, and I do want to point out that people who've taken this or anything else into their body that needs to be purged or healed or transmuted can be very easily done. Okay, and so no one having taken something will is like signing their warrant. You get to choose. And so um, it's true though. You can also tell the energies that need to purge something. And I think that we see it because when we can see it, we can help, right? And so we can send the energy there to assist it. So I think that's why that we see it. Um, I've noticed too is that people who are really full of a lot of toxins tend to be more grayscale. Like their skin just looks a little bit gray to me. And this isn't saying that they're like, some other race or something like that, that they're under the control of some other race. It's that their frequency is just diminished by the, amount of toxins that they still have to transmute. And so they'll have more of a gray complexion in skin. Diana, the chewing is too much work. I agree. Yeah. Very exciting. Wonder what life will be like. All good. All good. I know. She's responding to Kate. Collapsing old timelines. Yeah, coming more into real us. And that's something else that's really cool, by the way. Like, so that I don't know if I mentioned it because I had another couple conversations today. Is that so 2 days ago, 3 days ago, a lot of us noticed it. This happened to everybody though, where everybody raised their frequency simultaneously and reached the tips of their higher self and then merged with higher self. This fractal aspect absorption thing that we do, you don't become something new, you become something more. You become more you. And when we do this, there's like this reeling kind of thing that happens where you're trying to like figure out how to be in the energy and the new frequency you're in. Um, and finding ourselves doing a lot of things automatically. Like I've just taken an uptick in the crying to release and to purge for people. Um, and it's kind of alarming when something starts to happen and you don't feel like you have control over it. Um, but so I'll just start crying, and it's not unpleasant for me, and it's a service. It helps people, so I don't mind it. Though it's weird, especially if there's people that you're talking to that are like, crazy lady's just crying now. What do I do? Like, or the people who think that they should do something um that makes it hard, but that's just my new gift or skill or thing that I'm doing. What I'm trying to show you is there's a lot of weird things that we don't think about, that are gifts, that are skills, that are assisting us and allowing it to move through in service. And I don't take on everybody's energy. I'll skim off the top. I'll be like, oh, this person's really full of a lot of tension and shame and guilt and judgment of self and just this whoa. And it's like, I don't really want to be in that energy with you, so let's take some of that off and get rid of it and help you. And so then I cry, you know and then it's gone. And so it's just a new thing that I'm doing, but everybody's got their thing, and we all started to do things that were more than we were before a couple of days ago. And we're going to keep noticing it more and more over the next coming days and weeks. Colleen says, sometimes I feel like things aren't real. Walking in a dream world. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are in a lot of ways. You're onto something there, girl. Like there's this realization that everything that we were taught and made to believe isn't true. There's so much code and things to talk about with this topic specifically that I just don't have the time for right now. However, there's a reason that it's called television programming, you know, to get everybody to agree, to consent to a one reality, and one way that reality is. And there have been so many conditioned um, uh, responses and belief systems and just so many different things that about this indoctrination system, the system, and all this kind of stuff that happens starting at a very young age. So most people don't even realize um, that as we slowly release all of this other coding, then we realize, just as you said, Colleen, that we are actually not in their anything like the reality that we've thought we were this entire time. And we're just talking to each other through these mechanisms in order to make it so the other individual will be able to open up to hear it when we're actually much more of a light body than you think. It's really cool. Jeanette, I was crazy crying lady in 2019 and no one knew what to do. We laugh about it now. That's awesome. That's awesome. I like being crazy crying lady. I don't mind. I feel bad. Hey, it's 555. I felt bad. I was doing a live with somebody else and there was some purging that needed, and I felt bad. Like I'm still thinking about it. And I'm feeling bad like it was complicated. Like you could tell it was causing more distress instead of helping. And it was like, I can't make it stop. Um, but yeah, it's a beautiful service. She said Diana says exactly, Pamela. Um, I had seen something. I went to the ER, Star Child. I went to the ER a little while back, and my sodium, potassium, and magnesium were all low. It was so strange. Yeah, I've been noticing. So that's a minerals, right? We get these minerals from walking on the ground normally, and we're noticing there's some stuff like this. I had the same thing. I had a potassium thing. Um, and um, it's really interesting that as soon as we start to so I stopped wearing shoes. I just stopped wearing shoes. People keep thinking that I'm just too poor to buy shoes, so they keep buying shoes for me. I have so many shoes, and I just give them to other people, which works out. But um, anyway, as soon as I started walking barefoot more, my my potassium levels were great. you know? So we have natural ways that these things are done. I'll also bring soil into the house over the winter because where I live, we collect a lot of snow on the ground that there's no way to really make contact with the ground. You'll stand like a few feet above the ground on the ice and the snow. So we'll use the soil in the house during the winter, the colder months. And, you know, you don't have to just put your feet in there. You can play with it with your hands. It's really fun, like get a couple of little tractors, like those Hot Wheels and little tractors and stuff, and just play in this dirt. About 10 minutes a day with your hands, or 10 minutes every couple of days, with your hands, 5 minutes with your feet, and you're golden. We started doing this years ago, and then not too long ago, the world of psychology has now deemed this something that they've newly discovered, which I think is really funny. This has happened so many times in history, right? Anyway, they call it earthing, and so this earthing is a mechanism of removing the person's need to experience seasonal depression. So that it eliminates seasonal depression during winter months and those colder months where people tend to get depressed. So it's kind of cool. Kate 13, nothing on my feet, girl, here too. Yep. No shoes. Yeah, Diana. Exactly. Yeah. Shoes are just, it's so funny too. Like I'll be walking around, it's just raining. It's not like, there's no, it's not like razor blades are falling from the sky and people are all like, where are your shoes? Can I get you your shoes? And it's like, why? Let's dance some more. I'm busy. I got better things to do. Yeah. I saw something. I lost it though. I read somewhere, says Aaron, the grays we see are those of us here who chose a timeline that they regret, and they are back from the future to warn us not to. Yeah, I've heard this too. There's really kind of fun how many different stories have come through about that. I had a conversation with Heather about that earlier today about the grays. And like, I know that after a while, all the things that were like a thing to worry about, they don't it's like, oh, it's just a little brother with a, sheet on him trying to be scary kind of thing. And we find out that those things that we thought mattered don't. But it's fun. It's intrigue, and I kind of get something similar that, all of us are all one. We're all you're all me and I'm all you. And like we are the singular. And um so as we all now are we're in this motion of returning back to self, returning and reuniting and realizing there is no reuniting because of that means that implies there was separation to begin with. Once we get to this stage, then we start to just be like, oh, that was fun, and all of these things close themselves up anyway, and it doesn't, but isn't it fun to consider? Um, we are so bright. That's right, Fleur de Lis. We are. Who else, says Diana? Who else watch documentaries from past timelines? I know, it's weird, huh? It's quite bizarre that I can't see that part right there. That says it's quite bizarre time traveling with past generations. A lot of cool timelines closing out, and it's fun to see and watch these timelines, what they were like before. Like, we're starting to forget the history that was wrong as they correct it, and I find this really fascinating. Like, for instance, everyone having believed all of those years that everybody in the 1800s were just driving around on horse and buggy and like weird hats and stuff. That was just regular. What was happening obviously at that time was that there was an alteration in what people knew was happening. You can feel it. You can tell that everyone there were reverted, and some were pissed off about it, but they were also very, very afraid to talk about anything. And that's where everybody started to keep all the secrets. Everybody started, no one talked about anything. Diana says, like, when did not have cars? Yeah, like I kind of feel like we had things like that or even better before that. There's a whole thing about it that, well, I don't wanna get into it because it's really deep, and it's that I gotta get going, I gotta go make dinner. I'm not gonna eat, but I still got a little person that likes to eat all the time still, and so but I love you all so much. This is a really fun conversation. I look forward to connecting with you all again. I'll be here next Sunday. Um, and again, I appreciate you all showing up, even though I'm joining at a random time. I'll try to do more random lives too, if that's something that you all are interested in. It seemed like there was some people who liked it, so this is fun. I love you all so much. Yeah, 111 in the chat. Synchronicity. I love you all so much, and I will see you soon. Aho blessings.